I mean, I guess many media owners over the last 15 years have operated the mantra of, I want to take my content to every available platform, as though they had this original content and it is going to be equally consumable despite different devices. And yet I think recently there's been more of an understanding of we need to be producing more device-specific content, or content that acknowledges that many of these devices are very different. So how do you measure, how should efficiency be measured, given that we now realize many of these devices have inherently different qualities?
Well, I think yeah, exactly. So the efficiency in this case is you have very much, you reach people via different devices in different stages of their interaction with the brand. So it's understanding what message you need to portray or to give to that audience, depending on which device they're using. So, you know, when you're sitting in front of a TV, it's very much lean back, very much about branding. Whereas if you're holding a mobile device, it's very much engaging, and you're in it, you're responding. So it's different messaging for the different use of the platform, which will invoke different responses. And that's how I think you can achieve optimal efficiencies, by being able to cater that. Having said that, and that's the question you asked, it was this panel earlier on, it's about you know, the question around creative and having very bespoke creative. I guess the challenge for us is, you know, you want to reach audiences at scale, and there's always the problem of having bespoke creative, which isn't scalable. Yeah. So it's something that needs to be managed on both sides.
So if I could just turn it over to the other guys on this question, I've been thinking about the differences between platforms lately, and you know, once upon a time the TV industry was sold on the notion of smart TV, and then everyone realized that smart TV or connected TV isn't such an immediate proposition yet after all, and now we're really hot on consumption of video through mobile platforms. I feel like we may actually be on the cusp of smart TV actually happening. I mean, has the sector sort of been marched to the top of the mobile hill, and then, you know, we are now coming out with the necessity to have mobile-specific ad formats, and are we about to be marched all the way back down to TV again, because ultimately smart TV is more akin to linear TV?
I think it's all about sort of penetration. I think also it's all about not necessarily talking about channels or being channel specific. So yes, there is a lot of investment going into mobile technologies, and you know, this whole idea about the universal identifier, but also there's a lot of investment going into smart TVs and understanding how to target across smart TVs and ad serve correctly. But actually what we should be talking about is, you know, the whole multi-screen element and being able to target campaigns holistically across device, rather than specifically across those channels.
Okay, Steve, do you want to pick up?
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, we do an audit twice a year where we simply just look at how many advertisers, how many brands have mobile-specific sites. And the latest survey we did at the top 158 had a mobile optimized site. At the top 142 still didn't. So they still have that experience when you go, and particularly I've got quite a small mobile device, and it's just almost impossible to see that experience. You know, people are going to navigate away from that and not engage with the site. So even if they interact with the advertising and get through to the brand's landing page, often they'll switch off. So we're trying to very much push that and promote that, and saying, you know, that mobile isn't just another channel, it is the ubiquitous device. It is rapidly, it will be the only device that often, if you look at anybody who's got young children or a young family, it's the only device they use. They just use mobile devices, so it's a necessity. I think, building what Christian and Jana said, it's just about understanding what people are doing throughout the day and how they're using the devices, and knowing what frame of mind they're in, and just giving them the right ad at the right time. But there are many platforms out there at the moment that will do responsive design, will optimize all your ads for you, and you just have to know what frame of mind somebody's in, and just that determines the creative you show them. So the whole idea of having to publish, you publish once, you would just do it once and publish, you know, once many times, just done in an automated fashion. You don't have to worry about creating multiple creatives for multiple platforms. There are companies out there that just do it for you. But
Krishnan, if the optimum is a holistic campaign rather than a silo or segregated specific one, how do you set the pricing for each of those components, each of those platforms?
I think that's done in the background as well as the selection of the technologies. But I think to the advertiser, to the end advertiser, who is, you know, booking and running a campaign, you know, it's all about that kind of story, that creative story across those different channels. And you know, it's up to us to work with technology vendors and publishers to actually determine the optimal price and to actually deliver that campaign with operational efficiency as well as, you know, structural efficiency.
So do they really care? You know, if the overall pricing that meets the needs, the goals at the right price, do they really care about the pricing, individual pricing across different platforms? I'd argue probably not. As long as it comes out as being efficient, targeting the right person at the right time, they don't really mind what platform it's on.
That would imply you're setting a sort of a top line price rather than individual component prices.
Well, I think you see that in many of the big media owners, they're doing just that. They're putting mobile first and saying, well, actually, it doesn't matter what channel it's on. We know mobile is very important, but you know, they're looking at aggregated pricing for many platforms, as Christian said, doing that in the background, as opposed to actually then just putting that challenge on top of the buyer and saying you have to decide every element of it.
Yeah, I think too what'll help in that area is as scale grows in the non-PC kind of volumes. So, you know, smart TVs, although growing, you know, compared to the volumes you see on PC VOD, or even mobile VOD compared to what you see on PC VOD, are quite different. So, once that volume grows and you have more supply there as well, I think you'll see that change.
How is the market going to change if and when smart connected TV really does explode?
In what way? How do you mean?
So I mean, right now connectivity rates for connectable TVs are pretty low. I really see, you know, YouTube is building up, I think, quite a lot of potential. I think when YouTube becomes a channel, or well, more accurately, a series of several hundred or thousand channels on the large box in the living room, I think we're really in different territory there.
I think it's really exciting. I think it's fantastically exciting. I mean, coming back to what Steve was saying, I think that's the future. If I just look at my kids, they don't watch linear TV anymore. They're on their tablets and they're on our TV looking at YouTube, believe it or not. So I think that is going to become more and more the reality for us. And you know, that offers us great opportunities in terms of the programmatic world. Absolutely.